And that was like, when they mugged her, that was like one of the things that really had her thinking, like, maybe I should leave this place. I'm trying to, do my best here, and, I get mugged, for my, hard work. And they get chased all over this city by these things, and they are relentless, and they won't give up. Matter of fact, one kid gets into a dumpster, and he closes the door, and he apparently, from what you can tell in the film, is there for hours. And it just sits there and waits for him, and just doesn't do anything. It just waits, and every time he looks like he's going to get out, it like attacks again. And what's great about this film is it's a lot of fun, and you get to see these characters grow. I mean, they're punks in the first scene, and especially Moses. You actually watch him learn and become a hero at the end of this story, where he sacrifices. And is willing to sacrifice himself, to, save the whole block, the whole neighborhood from these monsters. And what's cool about the monsters in this movie, they're not CGI. They're all practical effects. They're guys in suits. And what they do is they use that's okay. I watched, actually, since I watched this on DVD, I checked out the background, and they had these animal performers who do things for movies and, shows and all sorts of stuff. And they designed these costumes, and what's cool is the teeth actually glow in real life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I thought, that was something CG, right? No, I mean, it was like glowing on set. And the director in this little piece, behind the scenes piece, he was talking about how it really does help the performers of the in the film when there's some real tension between the creature effects and them, unlike a lot of CG stuff, where sometimes the actors don't even know what they're supposed to be looking at. And you can really tell. And what's funny is, they interviewed one of the guys who's doing the some of the scenes where they're running from the monster, and the guy would be into it, try and psych out the kids that he's going to be chasing in the scene. And you really do sense that fear in those scenes, by the way. And it's just so cool. And they do use CGI, by the way, to sort of enhance the creatures here and there. They have black fur, but when you look at them, I mean, they're like space abyss deep black. I mean, the blackest black you could ever look into this creature. And oh man, this film was really fun. I totally recommend finding it. It's on DVD now, and it's called Attack the Block.
I too chose a kind of small movie that I doubt either of you have seen, and I picked Another Earth. Which is a low budget science fiction film that was at the Sundance Film Festival last January, and it only cost $200,000 to make. It's a really small movie. It stars a new actress named Britt Marling, who I think we're going to start seeing in some stuff. She was just a fantastic actress, and it also co-stars William Maypother, who played Ethan Rom in the first season of Lost. He was the spy that the others sent over to the camp in Lost, and he was the only person in the whole movie I recognized. But anyway, it's this really small character driven kind of science fiction film about a parallel Earth showing up right next to our Earth, and it's not about us going there or necessarily what the people over there are like, but rather how it affects just one person, or rather two people. And I don't know. One of the criticisms I read of the film from actually the big criticism from a lot of people was it's more poetry than it is sense, because they don't really deal with the whole, well, if another planet showed up right next to our planet, there'd be tide problems. They don't really deal with any of that. But I got kind of lost in the story and wasn't really thinking about that kind of thing. Britt Marling plays Rhoda Williams, who is a young girl who when the other Earth shows up, she's celebrating. She's out celebrating. She's out drinking, and she's unfortunately drinking and driving. And she's out celebrating because she just got accepted to MIT. And she's this like really smart girl who's probably going to grow up and become a scientist. And she's driving in her car when the other Earth shows up, and because it just pops up out of nowhere, and oh, there it is, and she's looking out and gazing at it, and she ends up hitting this other car, and the person driving the other car is the guy played by William Mapother, whose name is John Burroughs, and it kills his wife and their kid, I think their daughter. And so then later what happens is she ends up getting convicted for manslaughter, and she goes to jail, but she goes to juvie because she's underage, and because I think she's like only 17 at the time. And so the guy whose family she kills never knows who she is because they can't give him that information. And so when she finally gets out of jail, she's like constantly kind of torturing herself about it. And so like she refuses to get a job where she has to do any thinking because she's worried that it's like in her head she gets it all worked up to where it's like her intellect is what killed those people because she was thinking about the other Earth, and then these people died. And so she ends up getting a job as a janitor, and it's like this. It's a really depressing movie. But anyway, so she decides to go over to John Burroughs' house and apologize to him and reveal who she is. But when she gets there, she can't get up the gusto to actually tell him. So she ends up claiming that she's working for a cleaning agency, and she just keeps going to his house every week and cleaning his house, and never tells him who she is until much later in the movie. And anyway, basically. The whole thing is about how this other Earth just affects this girl, and she ends up entering a contest that some big wealthy entrepreneur is having to send people over to the other Earth, and she enters it, and she ends up winning it. And then just as she wins it, and like the time span of the movie is like 4 years. So when we get further into it, there starts being all this speculation about, and this is where the science fiction comes in, there ends up being all this speculation about like how much people's lives on both planets must have changed once each one knew that the other one was there. Because they get some evidence, and I won't reveal how because the scene's really cool, but they get some very clear evidence that the other Earth is exactly like our Earth. And then we discover that of course, because we know that it's there and it knows that we're there, that now they must have diverged. And so then there starts being questions about whether or not on the other Earth, if she hit that car and killed those people. And so it's a really personal story, and it's super, super depressing. And I don't know, I don't want to give anything else away about it because the ending is really, really interesting. But anyway, it's not what you would expect, because the first thing I thought was, oh, we're gonna go do a parallel Earth story, and it's really not that. So anyway, that's Another Earth in a nutshell. Had any of us seen any of the other films that we talked about?
I have not seen Attack the Block, but I've heard of it.
I have not seen Young Adult, but I actually was planning to see it.
Oh, definitely do.
Lindsay and I saw the trailer not too long ago, and we really wanted to see it. But that's it.
Well, guys, let's jump back in our 3-seater time machine and come back into the present a whole 2 weeks ahead.
Can't we just save money and just walk?
Yeah, that's
I think it's actually like 2 weeks and an hour ahead.
See, actually, that's what you said when we went to 2007, but I think it's actually quicker this time. So you're probably right. You're probably more right this time.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we should just steal some little kid's red flyer wagon and just throw our time machine in the back and walk it over. Anyway, well, hey, thanks everybody for listening to the Pop Culture Yearbook. Eric, thanks a lot for joining us. Eric, do you have anything you'd like to say to your subscribers that haven't seen you for a really long time?
I should be coming back soon. I have consistent internet, and I don't have overtime anymore. So I've talked to Manos, and I think my first video back will be reviewing the first 3 issues of Red Knight.
All right.
Exciting. Cool. Oh, see, when you said that, I thought you were going to, review it with Manos. I'm like, I don't think you should review Manos' book.
I was actually wondering if Manos was going to pick Red Knight as his thing for 2011.
I was wondering when Manos and I did our top 11 list if he was going to put Red Knight on it.
No, I would not be. That would be completely insane to do that.
I was kidding.
Oh.
I was kidding.
But the closest I came was putting Willpower on the list.
You did. But it was really good. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, it was definitely worthy of being put on your list. Well, anyway, once again, thanks everybody for listening to the Pop Culture Yearbook. We'll see you again, hopefully in 2 weeks, when we'll be discussing what year, Manos?
1943.
The furthest back we've ever gone. I don't believe we'll be walking that time.
That's right. It's the year before cars and sand.
And that was chosen by Eric. Eric, thanks very much for choosing the hardest year we'll probably ever have to find.
I've been looking at what came out that year. It's not as difficult as you think it is.
All right. Okay. Cool. I haven't looked yet. So. All right. Well, once again, Eric, thanks for joining us. Manos, thanks as always.
Yeah,
See everybody again in 2 weeks. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm the Real Manos.
I'm Eric.
We'll see you next time.